But you see, beautiful, beautiful event. Of course, it needs an honoree. This year's honoree, as we mentioned, is Jacky Ickx, Monsieur Le Mans. He drove the last car onto the Concours this morning. He has been a busy man. He sat on a couple of seminars. He has talked to fans. See him signing some posters here this morning. And later on today, Heacock Classic Insurance will be presenting a signed Jacky Ickx poster to a local, to a lucky winner, actually.
Yep, and that's coming up at 20 to 5 today, so we're going to be looking to that. But he's certainly been a very busy man with everything that he does, and he's been in seminars, he's been everywhere he can.
It's remarkable when you walk around the Concours and you see all of the beautiful cars that are parked, over 300 of them. You think they haven't been here all weekend. They just arrived overnight early this morning. Earlier in the weekend, there were other shows that took place. Heacock Classic Insurance also presented a Cars and Coffee that had over 300 cars as well.
And that's just something completely different. And it's as if some giant hand has come down and changed everything overnight. We know that it was mainly Tim Pendergast as the operations director of the Concours, but that, yes, we had Cars and Coffee, people here with their cars, with... It was less of a judged event. It was more of just a great day out. But it was nonetheless, yeah, it was great.
We all got to participate in it. Take a look at some of our favorites that we found Saturday morning. It's a beautiful Saturday morning at the Heacock Classic Insurance Cars and Coffee. There are over 350 cars here this morning, lots of families walking around, and that's what reminded me of my interest in cars when I was a little girl talking to my dad. He was so interested in Corvettes, particularly the classic variety, and so I found this 1953. That's the first production year of the Corvette. This is the 269th Corvette ever made. You can see it's beautiful, it's pristine. All 300 of them were actually made in this exact same color. The only options were a heater and a radio. You couldn't take those two off. I found the owner here. David, you drove the car in this morning. You've owned the car for about 8 years. What made you want to purchase this one?
When I was 16, I bought my first Corvette, and it was a 67 427, and ever since then, when I found out there were only 300 of the 53s, it was always my desire to own one. And you know, with working in business and everything, once I retired, I hunted one down, and I'm very proud to own the 53. It's a very primitive car, but it's part of Corvette history, and I really enjoy that it makes people smile, and I like taking it out, and I like people to enjoy it. It's a fun little car.
It's one of my show favorites for sure. Let's head over to Paul Tarsi and see what he found.
Do you know, when you talk about muscle cars and everything else, there's probably one word that comes to mind more than anything else, and that would be Pontiac. And Jamie, I have to tell you, these are Pontiacs and then some. I've got two gentlemen here who are running a couple of cars here. First of all, I want to talk to Gary. Gary, I think you have built several of these engines.
I have. I built the engine in the white car here. That's a 69 Trans Am convertible. Then also in the 74 Trans Am as well. And then this is my car. This is a 73 Trans Am 455 Super Duty. And then we've got a car club here that's got quite a few. And I've built most of these engines in these cars.
That white car, let's just go and have a look at this, because Kevin, you own this car, and
about 3 years.
I'm sure that you'd like to tell us about it. You say?
Yes, I've owned it for about 3 years. Bought it as a rolling chassis out of Kansas, sight unseen, and it came just the way you see it here. Gary, we built the motor for it. We got a Kaufman Racing 505 in it. Like you said, about 700 horsepower, 717 foot-pounds of torque, and it sounds great. I'll tell you that, it sounds great.
I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that looking at these cars here, hearing of 800 brake horsepower on relatively skinny little tires, these men are gods.
Yeah.
And a big part of the Cars and Coffee morning is Heacock Classic Car Insurance, and I'm with Chuck Hellings from Heacock. Chuck, you've been a part of this event for some years now. I've got to ask you the question, why? Or should say, why not?
Joe, it was really a great opportunity 6 years ago to be a charter sponsor of Cars and Coffee, and it's really evolved to something very special here on Saturday, where collector car owners can bring their cars that may not be Concours eligible in terms of their quality, but can actually bring their cars and place them on the same field as these beautiful cars that are going to be judged tomorrow will be. So it's kind of like playing amateur baseball or pickup baseball game in Yankee Stadium. And to add some cars and coffee, coffee to the cars that are here just made a lot of sense in bringing the camaraderie and spirit and joy of collector car collecting back to Saturday.
And Chuck, the term, I think, kindred spirit comes to mind, and really that term, kindred spirit, is the very foundation of how Heacock Insurance got involved in classic car insurance, isn't it?
It's very true. Our founder, Ford, was very deeply involved in racing, and that transcended into him insuring the race cars of his competitors, and then expanded into the collector car market as well. So it's really great to preserve this operational automotive history, both on a sports car perspective, a race car perspective, and a collector car perspective. It's really not about providing a quote to someone, but understanding the value of the cars that they have and ensuring that we can preserve and insure that history for future generations.
Chuck, it's been great catching up with you. Thank you very much for talking to us, and hopefully, and you know what, hopefully, I'm pretty sure we're all going to have a fantastic weekend here.
Well, Joe, that's great. And by the way, you may be able to get a couple donuts. There's a couple left.
I forgot about that. Donuts and coffee. What could be better? Here in North Florida, the Amelia Island Concours d'Elegance is an event that's not to be missed. And the man behind that is the man to my right here, Bill Warner. And how can I say this? I'm going to be polite. One of Bill's competitors in his motorsport life is right next to him, Jack May. Jack, Bill, how can you guys still be friends, especially you, but I'm going to ask you this one. Didn't he beat you in the 1975 Cannonball Run?
Well, soundly, yes, soundly. But I got all the glory because they were doing the shot on the roof of the Red Ball Garage, and they had all the cars lined up, and his white Dino was front and center, the car that's behind us here. Well, it was leaking fuel, so they had to run out and fix it, and they needed a white car, so they put my Porsche 911. See, so I got pole position. I got all the glory. I got the cover of Car and Driver, but he won the race.
And it's
We've thought about photoshopping it to fix it, but we've not done it yet.
They didn't have Photoshop back then.
Jack, I believe you won that race by a full 11 hours. I mean, it's a coast-to-coast from starting in Dockland in the Bronx all the way to California, and you did that with you ended up with an 11-hour lead and an average speed of 8.
11-hour lead.
I've been given that information. What was it, Jack?
Well, the record?
11 hours over me.
Remember, Bill.
I was a day and a half over totally, right?
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story. Now, 11 hours. Now, 83 mile an hour average from coast to coast in continental and North America. You would have even gone faster if it wasn't for those pesky cops in Ohio, was it?
Oh, put me in jail.
What happened?
No sense of humor at all.
What speed did they clock you at?
I think about 120.
The funniest one, wouldn't you say Tully?
Yeah. Tully got arrested in West Virginia.
Charleston, West Virginia.
And they'd picked up this teeny bopper.
Who was going to help him
navigate
get across town.
And the cops thought that they were maybe picking her up and took them to jail. He was a whole day late.
They got arrested for suspicion of violation of the Mann Act, which was transporting underage children across state lines for immoral purposes. So they finished last.
I think on that note, we'll leave it there for these guys to continue with these funny tales. Thanks for putting the time aside to talk to us and just sharing that experience. It's brilliant.
Jack, it's always a pleasure to be with you, my friend.
It's always good.
This was a Florida contingent here.
Right.
Both have our cars that ran the Cannonball. You never get rid of a good car.
No.
You marry a good woman and you keep a good car.
And it's good. We've got to go on that note, surely.
Genuine laughter there from the three of them. Let's go back to Joe Bradley. We saw Jacky Ickx autograph the poster earlier today, and it's time, I believe, Joe, to hand that out.
Heacock Insurance has been part of the Amelia Island Concours for some years. Pete Doraguzzi here is going to tell us why. Pete, why is an event like this so important for your company?
Joe, we've been a part of this since 23 years ago, 1 year after the Amelia Island Concours was actually started.
Guys, I don't know if you can actually hear what Pete's saying, but we're being drowned out by a March 83G, which doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't.
But so, start again, tell us again.
So Ford Heacock started here 23 years ago, supporting the Bill Warner and the Amelia Island Concours 1 year after its initial inauguration. We've been here every year since. This is a big deal for us. We get to see many, many clients here every year, and this is a good kickoff to the year. This is has become a signature event for us as a company. We sponsor the Heacock Classic Cars and Coffee on Saturday on the show field here, and then Sunday here on the Concours. And we, again, love being here. This has been such a fantastic part of our history.
And is this a place where you can actually create business, or is it purely marketing and raising people's awareness to Heacock Insurance?
Joe, it's a good question. It's actually a lot of everything that we do. It's solidifying current relationships, also meeting new people and new prospects, and getting an idea of what we're going to be selling for the future here. There are a lot of auctions that go on. We take a look at the market rates of vehicles throughout the weekend. But again, it's a place for us to do a lot of things with our business. Again, meeting clients, meeting prospects, and solidifying relationships we currently have. And again, fantastic event here that we get to do it all in one weekend.
And we've got a very special occurrence about to take place. It's the draw. It's the prizes, a signed Amelia Island Concours poster, and it's signed by our honoree Jacky Ickx.
It is, and we're going to do a drawing here today. We've had people registering all weekend long, and we'd like to draw that. And actually, we're going to have Cannonball Jack, the car that you see back behind us here, the car that won the Cannonball in 1975, set the record at 35 hours and 53 minutes. Jack Mayo's here and he's going to do the drawing for us and pick the winner.
And now, if Jack's here also, so we're going to be able to do this live. If you give us a second. And Jack's ready to make the draw for the prize. Jack, hi. We spoke yesterday and we had some great fun. In fact, I think we had too much fun yesterday. I think they're not going to let us get together again. Here we go. And the prize is for the...
Some of my good luck.
Yeah.
Whoever gets it.
Good luck of being arrested and being let out, I think.
Good name. Jack Moliere.
We've got a phone number there, so Mr. Jack Moliere, and we've got his email and his phone number, and that's going to be so that's our winner. Jack Moliere is now the owner of a signed poster signed by honorary Jacky Ickx. Pete, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and we're glad you've been around and continue to be a partner in the Amelia Island Concours. And Jack, it's just an absolute honour to talk to you. Thank you. Thank you.